We've covered so many big superhero movies already on the channel, from the likes of Iron Man and the early MCU, all the way to the likes of Spider-Man, the original Sam Raimi ones. We've covered them all, but we haven't yet covered Deadpool. Is it any good? Let's find out in just a second, but before we jump right into it, hit the like button, that would be much appreciated. So Deadpool for me is clearly one of the funniest Marvel movies and superhero movies of all time. It ranges from the likes of No Limit, in which is what gives it this great value and what everybody loves about it, because it shows no boundaries and it's R-rated and it's like anything goes, in which most superhero movies are condensed under like the 12A because they think they're for kids or whatever, and Deadpool is certainly not for kids. And that is why I think a lot of people love Deadpool and even Logan and all these others, because they're R-rated and there's no limit to what they can and can't do. And I think it really fits the type of genre that Ryan Reynolds thrives in. If you look at him as Deadpool, nobody else could fill those shoes like he could. Even if you're looking at the first and second films, I think he just fits that role perfectly because he doesn't show any boundaries, he gets creative, and the things that he's managed to do as that Deadpool character so far have just been phenomenal, and I can't wait to see what he does in the new Deadpool film coming out in July. I think he is an absolute great fit for this character, and not only did he elevate the other superhero movies to go and try out R-rated movies, but he also managed to elevate his own career via the Deadpool movies that he's created, because after that he started working a lot more on Netflix. He's basically created a whole image around himself, and I'm not saying he didn't have that beforehand, but I'm saying is he elevated his own stock just being in the Deadpool movies and being the face of what is now known as the R-rated superhero movie genre. And I think that is what we expect now when we watch R-rated superhero movies, that type of film that we saw in Deadpool. Although the movie overall is really good, I want to get into the story because the story is fantastic. I love the story, and I think out of all the how they became the superhero vibe and the backstories, I think that Deadpool's in the Fox Marvel universe is clearly the best out of the X-Men stuff and whatever. I think his backstory, let's not talk about X-Men Origins Wolverine's backstory of how Deadpool became Deadpool, because that was shocking, but this version of how he became Deadpool was fantastic, and seeing it brought down for somebody who doesn't read the comics, and I'm open to talking about that because I don't read the comics, I watch just the films. And from just watching the films, you learn a lot about these characters, and obviously if you've never heard of Deadpool before, this is a really cool introduction to that character and what he's about. And I think it was interesting learning about that firsthand, of Wade Wilson becoming Deadpool after he gets cancer, and some fella in the bar just offers him a chance to cure him and the rest of it. He goes along with it. He does look a bit dubious, and he thinks he's a bit dubious at first. He goes and does it, and it's this so-called hard treatment plan that he goes into, but then that's where he realizes they're not trying to treat him, they're trying to mutilate him and to try to use him as a weapon, in which they want to do, but obviously Wade Wilson doesn't allow that to happen when he escapes. But before he escapes, he is tortured, he is absolutely put through the paces in this little treatment plant to try to get them to work effectively. And by the time he leaves, he is not the same person anymore. His appearance has completely changed and his image is shattered, but he now has the power of immortality and he can grow back limbs left, right and centre like we see in the second film several times. But I think that this was a really interesting story arc of him becoming that character. But then the whole story then is he now wants to cure what now isn't something that looks like himself. He doesn't mind the powers, I don't think, but then it's just the image of what he now looks like. He now wants to track down the guy that he escaped from because he said he had a cure. So now he's trying to track down and wants to scare him into giving him a cure. The flow of the movie though is very, very wild and very, very weird for anybody that's seen Deadpool. It starts off in the middle of the film. He doesn't start at the beginning of the film, explain how he becomes Deadpool. Like, the best way to describe it is Spider-Man. Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, everyone's seen that. It's not just like you're following Peter Parker, he gets bit by a spider, then he becomes Spider-Man. It's not that simple. We're seeing him as Deadpool, We don't know how he's become Deadpool yet or why he's just attacking a load of people, but then that's where it goes back to the past to him as Wade Wilson, and we're seeing him just do normal activities. We're not seeing anything out of the ordinary. We're not seeing anything of him being that Deadpool character that we know and love. We're seeing his personality, in which is Deadpool, but we're not seeing Deadpool the costume, Deadpool with the swords and stuff. We're not seeing that version of himself yet until we keep going back to the past and we're getting close to him becoming Deadpool when he gets his cancer, and when he gets his cancer diagnosis, then that's where he turns into Deadpool via the treatment that he goes on that we've just explained, and then he pops back to normal day when he's hunting down Ajax. And I think that was just a great plot line and a great way to tell that story. It's not just like the Tobey Maguire thing like I mentioned a minute ago. Not like that he got bit by a spider and then he turns into Spider-Man. It's the complete opposite way, and I think he does that on an intentional purpose to tell the story in a different manner to what we normally see all these great superhero stories being told. I think that the ending was also fantastic. I love this ending because it's so simple, and you know where you're going to get to time it flips back to modern day for the last time where it stops jumping back and forth. I think you know where you're at, as you now know that he's going to try to track down Ajax to try to get the cure for himself, to be able to approach his girlfriend again and his fiance again, to be able to get back with her. And you fully well know that he'll gain the confidence to do that if he's cured. And that's what his full intention is. But that doesn't go as planned, because in the meantime, they find out that who his girlfriend is and whatever, the bad guys, and they go track her down and kidnap her. And basically now it's not just I'm gonna go track down the villain, potentially kill him, but get the cure for myself first. But now it's also a rescue mission. So there's a revenge plot and a rescue mission going on in that same ending. And to me, you never really felt in danger of anything happening, in my opinion. I felt more in danger for Colossus practically getting absolute mullered at the end of the film, nearly getting choked out. But other than that, I don't think we felt feared that anything bad could happen to Vanessa or anything like that. It didn't really feel like one of those like Spider-Man 3 endings where it's like anything could happen. It didn't feel that way, in my opinion. It just felt as if, okay, Deadpool's going to go save the day, rest of it. And that's basically what happened. You had some great fight scenes amongst that, and everything turned out the way it was meant to be. But however, there isn't a cure, and that's where he's got to face Vanessa as his normal self and explain where he's been for the past few years and everything like that. But other than that, I think that was a fantastic ending. So to summarise Deadpool then, for me, I absolutely love this film. I think it's an 8 out of 10 and a classic film. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments down below. Do you enjoy this film? Let us know if so down in the comments down below. Hit the like button, hit that notification bell, and I shall see you fine folks in the next one. Laters.